Good morning, friends. I am Ashok Kumar, and today I am going to discuss the first chapter of the book Beehive, which is meant for class 9. The name of the chapter is The Fun They Had, and it is written by Isaac Asimov. As we cannot discuss the whole chapter in one lecture only, so I am making this video as part 1, and next part will be discussed in the next video. So let us know about the author. About the author, Isaac Asimov was born on January 2nd, 1920 in Russia. His family moved to the United States when he was a toddler. His family owned a series of candy shops and called upon him to work in the store as a youngster. In 1949, Asimov began a stint at the Boston University School of Medicine, where he was hired as an associate professor of biochemistry in 1955. He eventually became a professor at this university by the late 1970s. Asimov was prolific and a varied writer. Apart from science fiction, he was also known for writing books on astronomy, biology, mathematics, religion, and literary biography. Over the course of his career, he won several Hugo and Nebula awards. He also received several accolades from science institutions. At the age of 72, Asimov was died in New York City on April 6, 1992, from heart and kidney failure. So, in this way, we come to know that Asimov has written many books, and the main stress of his writing was on science fiction. And in this story, we also see that he has written in that way. Science fiction is his favorite, and most of the stories are science fiction. In this particular chapter, the fun they had, it is also in the same category, science fiction. So let us see what is there in the theme of the story. The present story unfolds the picture of future schools where the mechanical teacher will teach the student and books will be meaningless. Actually, the students will learn only from the ebooks and the class tests will be conducted online. The internet will have wide application in the subjects like history and geography will be no more difficult for the students. They will get the hard books only kept in the library. Of course, this future school will be quite different from our present school and old schools. So, as I had told you earlier that this is a science fiction, and in this story, also the author has written something which is related to science. He has told us about future schools where there will be no need of any book. Everything will be uh, teach by those teachers which are not physically present. They will be machines. They will not be individuals, and students will not go school. Their school will be in their homes. So such things he has discussed there in this story. So let us see what is there in the introduction of the story. This story deals with the boy and girl Tommy and Maggie. They find out something about the school of the past on 17th May 2157. Tommy, a 13-year-old boy, finds a real book in the attic which has been printed on paper. Tommy and Maggie will take a look at it. So, two students, Tommy and Maggie, they are the main characters, and they find out something about the school of the past. And actually, they had found a real book which we are reading today. And that book was something unusual for them because they had not seen this kind of book earlier. So it was something new for them. And then they come to know about the old kind of schools and the trend which is going on now, and it will be changed with the passes of time in future. Now let's see what is written in the text. So I will begin with the text. Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary on the page headed May 17, 2157. She wrote, "Today Tommy found a real book. It was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that once he was a little boy, his grandfather told him there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that still, instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, you know. And then, when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it, and it had when they read it the first time." "Gee," said Tommy, "what a waste. When you're through with the book, you just throw it away. I guess our television screen must have a million books on it, and it's good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away." "Same with mine," said Maggie. She was 11 and hadn't seen as many telebooks as Tommy had. He was 13. She said, "Where did you find it?" "In my house." He pointed without looking because he was busy reading in the attic. "What's it about?" "School." Maggie was scornful. "School? What's there to write about school? I hate school." Maggie always hated school because now she hated it more than ever. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the cunt. So, in this part of the text, we are told by the author that a 13 years boy, Tommy, found a real book. Real book means the book which we read today. It was something new for him as well as for Maggie. Maggie wrote this event in her diary and given a heading, "Today Tommy found a real book." Maggie had heard from her grandfather about such kind of books where all stories were printed on pages. Tommy came to know that each page has different text, and it was the same text if the same page is opened again. The words were not moving, they were still unlike ebooks on computer screen. Tommy and Marky discussed about the whereabouts of the book. Margie inquired about the book. Tommy told her about that book was about school, and Margie was surprised to hear that what relation of a book can be with the school because she hated school. Now see in the next slide the glossary. So these words are used there in the text, and their meaning is: crinkly means full of wrinkles, funny means humorous, scornful means hateful, Attic means space just below the roof to store things. Mechanical, connected with machines. Sorrowfully, sadly, county, reason, inspector, the person who inspects. He was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. He smiled at Margie and gave her an apple, then took the teacher apart. Margie had hoped he wouldn't know how to put it together again, what he knew how, all right, and after an hour or so, there it was again, large and black and ugly, with a big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. That wasn't so bad. The part Margie hated most was the slot where she had to put homework and test papers. She always had to write them out in a punch code they made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the mark in no time. Margie was disappointed. She had been hoping they would take the teacher away too altogether. So she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?" Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of school that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago. He added loftily, pronouncing the word carefully, centuries ago. Margie was hurt. Well, I don't know what kind of school they had all that time ago. She read the book over his shoulder for a while, then said, "Anyway, they had a teacher." Sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher, it was a man. A man, how could a man be a teacher? Well, he just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them questions. A man isn't smart enough? Sure, he is. My father knows as much as my teacher. Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. She said, "I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me." So, in this part of the text, we read that county inspector visited at the home of Margie as there was a problem with her mechanical teacher. Margie was sure that he would take away her mechanical teacher for repairs, but it could not happen as he repaired it then and there. When county inspector was repairing the mechanical teacher, Tommy and Margie discussed about old kind of school and teacher. Margie was surprised to know about the old kind of schools and man as a teacher. She thought that man teacher cannot be so smart in comparison to mechanical teacher. So in this part of the text, we have discussed such things. So now we have discussed half of the text in this video. Next part will tell the next video, and today that's all. Thank you.